Yo, what's up guys, it's your boy Sami here. Today we are gonna see, what if Naruto were kidnapped by Kaguya, part 2, hope you'll enjoy this video. So before we start please subscribe to our channel, and like this video. So let's get into the video. Naruto and Sasuke looked around the land of waves, seeing the disrepair the town was in, with several people being on the streets. It's sad isn't it? Seeing these people suffering like this because of some tyrant. Kushina stated, Sasuke humming in thought with her arms crossed behind her back while Naruto remained silent. After a while, they arrived at the bridge builder Tezuna's house where Team 7 should be. Knocking on the door the three waited a few moments before it was opened by a middle-aged woman. Yes? The woman asked. Hi, we're the backup team sent to assist Team 7. Kushina introduced the woman, gaining a look of realization. Oh? Right, Kakashi did mention another team would be showing up. Please come in, I'm Tsunami, Tezuna's daughter. Tsunami said, stepping aside to let them. I'm Kushina Uzumaki, these are my students Satsuki Uchiha, and my son Naruto Uzumaki. Said Kushina, Naruto scoffing when she called him her son. Let's get this over with. Naruto muttered brushing past both Kushina and Tsunami. Entering the living room Naruto saw Menma, Arashi, Sasuke, and Kakashi sitting around. Oh how the mighty have fallen. Naruto commented seeing the crutches next to Kakashi, Menma, and Arashi looking a little worse for wear. His comment had their attention turned to him, his brothers, and Sasuke glaring at him, while Kakashi merely glanced at him before going back to his book. What are you doing here, loser? Demanded Menma as Kushina and Sasuke entered. We're the team sent to assist Usachi. Said Kushina, the two scoffing and sneering at Naruto. Well you'll be able to help Kasan, but the loser will just get in the way. And don't worry Tsuki-chan, we'll protect you. Arashi said shamelessly, looking Sasuke up and down. Naruto bristled at them blatantly being his girlfriend. Well he could care less about what they think of him, that didn't stop Naruto's anger at being looked down on by these pathetic weaklings that will only depend on Kasumi's old chakra. And yet you are the ones that needed another team to back you up. So much for the sons of the great Yondaime, guess all that training amounts to nothing. Naruto taunted Menma, and Arashi's face turned red at the insult. Naruto, stop antagonizing your brothers this instant. Kushina scolded. Glaring at her from the corner of his eye Naruto turned on his heel, and left the house, a worried Sasuke going after him, knowing nothing good would happen of Naruto going off on his own. Sasuke found Naruto in the forest knocking trees down, throwing them into the air, and destroying them. Throwing another one into the air Naruto's hand was surrounded by purple chakra surrounding his right hand before a purple blade made of pure chakra shot out of his hand, and impaled the tree slicing through it. Though just as quickly the blade vanished, and Naruto fell to his knees gripping his now burned and shaking hand. You idiot. Sasuke said, running over to him. What were you thinking? You know you can't handle creating an energy blade like that, as you are now. Sasuke was admonished. I was thinking I've had to restrain myself for 4 years from just tearing those worthless insects apart. Naruto snarled with a murderous glare, one that actually made Sasuke flinch. She knew Naruto held nothing but hatred for his brothers. It was different from her hatred for Itachi, she once loved and looked up to Itachi, then he murdered their parents, particularly their mother Mikoto, and massacred their clan. And any love or respect she had for her brother turned into a burning hatred and need for revenge. But for Naruto he had always been second to his brothers, and treated as a punching bag by them. There was never any sibling love between the three, only pure hatred. Sasuke wouldn't admit out loud, but she had always been terrified of what Naruto would become, if his hatred consumed him with no one around to keep him in check. I don't think anyone would be able to stop him. Sasuke thought grimly. Looking at his hand Naruto saw it was fully healed, but a few tremors still went through it. Clenching his fists Naruto breathed deeply, willing it to stop. I'm good now, said Naruto standing, but Sasuke stopped him, and grabbed his hand. No, let me see, Sasuke said. I said I'm fine Naruto was cut off when Sasuke looked at him warningly. You're lucky you can even still feel your hand. You know it's dangerous when you use the advanced version of the God Split Cut, Sasuke said, as her hands gained a soft green glow. The God Split Cut is another of Naruto's original techniques, one that was pure shape transformation. The idea was to coat his hand in a field of chakra to act as a powerful blade. It took months for Naruto to get it down, and when he did it was sharp enough to slice cleanly through a boulder. He even taught it to Sasuke to see if she could make her own improvements. But Naruto didn't stop there wanting to create more powerful versions. So far he's only been able to create a blade of pure energy that was more powerful than the God Split Cut, and used to keep his opponents at more of distance. He called it Violent Fierce God Slicer. Of course, whenever Naruto tries using it, he damages his hand, and runs the risk of permanently damaging the nerves in his hand, only able to use it safely when using the aura he creates with his 6-path Sage mode. His body just can't handle the power, so Sasuke made him swear to use it, as a last resort, at least until he can find a way to use it without damaging his hand. Sasuke soon finished healing his hand. She had learned basic medical ninjutsu knowing it'd be good for one of them to learn it. There, luckily it wasn't anything permanent, Satsuki said. Naruto didn't say anything, merely looking at Satsuki intensely. Looking up, Satsuki locked eyes with Naruto. For several moments, both of them just looked at each other. After a few moments, Naruto raised his hand grabbing a strand of Satsuki's hair that fell in front of her face, and brushed it behind her ear. Satsuki said a faint blush, not used to Naruto doing anything like that. Before we left Konoha I found something that you should know about, said Naruto suddenly while pulling out the file he took. Looking at the file, Satsuki felt a sense of dread wash over her when she saw it was Anbu Weasel's, her brother's Anbu name, mission file. Turning back to Naruto, Satsuki's feeling of dread wasn't helped when she saw his expression. Times for 5 days. Naruto blitzed past several thugs with his God split cut activated. Turning to them, Naruto smirked cruelly when blood exploded out of their chests before falling over dead. All around Naruto were dozens of bodies, all with similar injuries. These were Gedo's hired help, all of whom Naruto has taken care of, while Satsuki went to deal with Zabuza, his accomplice, Gedo, and anyone else that got in her way. After Satsuki had read the file Naruto gave her, she had turned scarily calm, Naruto having expected her to get angry or sad learning the truth of her family's massacre. Instead, she just became calm, not reacting to anything that happened around her. Until that little brat had to open his big mouth. Though Naruto frowned. Flashback. Everyone was gathered at the table in Tazuna's house, after taking turns guarding Tazuna, and the bridge, and his family. Menma and Arashi were talking animatedly with their mother, Sasuke was fawning over the former two, Kakashi was reading his smut, while somehow eating without removing his mask, and Naruto and Satsuki simply ate silently. Why do you bother? Inari asked, looking at the ninja. Said Kakashi, glancing up from his book. Why do you bother? You can beat Gedo, no one can. You all come here acting like you know nothing about suffering, but you don't. You all live cushy and comfortable lives in your village, none of you know anything about suffering. So why don't you all just leave before you die? Inari shouted. Suddenly, before anyone could react or say anything, Satsuki suddenly had Inari by his throat, slamming him against the wall. She glared at him with her Manjikyu Sharingan blazing in her eyes. Little brats like you should learn to keep their mouths shut. Jinjutsu. Endless nightmare. Satsuki said to Kasta. Not even a second later, the boy screamed in agony before slumping unconscious. Dropping the boy carelessly, Satsuki turned her glare to Tsunami, and Tazuna froze them in place. Learn to teach your brat to keep his mouth shut, otherwise I'll do worse than simply trap him in a nightmare world. Satsuki vanished in a flash of lightning before anyone could say anything. Then flashback. The Jinjutsu she had used wasn't anything too dangerous, it just trapped Inari in a nightmare world where he experienced all the pain and suffering Naruto and Satsuki went through in their lives. A sort of downgraded version of Tsukiyomi, where it feels like years in the Jinjutsu, but only a second passes in the real world. But it doesn't leave the victim in a coma, just unresponsive for a few days, and probably some lasting mental scarring, depending on what Satsuki does to them in the Jinjutsu. Shaking those thoughts for now, Naruto grabbed 2 semi-intact bodies, and pulled out 2 sealing tags. Placing the tags on the back of the bodies' necks, as Naruto watched the corpses began transforming before his eyes. In a matter of minutes gone were the bodies of 2 of Gedo's thugs, and in their place was his own dead body along with Satsuki's. They were completely identical down to their clothing, and the best part was any tests performed on the bodies would come up as matches that they were in fact him and Satsuki. I see you're finished, Satsuki said, walking up to him dragging Zabuza behind her and carrying his sword. Just finished. He's not dead, stated Naruto upon seeing Zabuza not having a single wound on him. Physically he's alive, mentally however Satsuki trailed off with a shrug, Naruto nodding when he finally noticed the glassy look in Zabuza's eyes. His partner? Naruto asked her. I'm sure I left them in enough pieces to be recognizable, replied Satsuki neutrally. Unlike Naruto, Satsuki didn't find sadistic pleasure in killing her opponents. The only people she'll enjoy killing are Itachi and everyone else involved with her clan's near extinction. While Satsuki now knew the truth behind why Itachi massacred their clan, that didn't lessen her hatred for him, it only increased along with now being directed at those who gave the order. Did Satsuki understand why Itachi did it? Yes she did. If the Uchiha staged a coup that would have led to conflict in all of Konoha, that could have potentially started the Fourth Shinobi War. But that didn't mean she didn't think that there could have been a better way. Instead they killed all of her clan members, including the ones that had nothing to do with the coup, like the children, elderly, and all the others not involved. The only thing Satsuki wanted from Itachi was to look him in the eye, and know who it was that helped him massacre their clan. Then she'll drive a Chidori through his heart, and burn his body and eyes if someone tries to revive him. Nodding, Naruto pulled out another seal, this one a modified explosive seal, and placed it on Zabuza's chest. Satsuki meanwhile slashed at the disguised corpses with Kubikirabucho, making it as if they died at Zabuza's hand. Ready? Naruto asked, Satsuki nodding, as she stabbed Zanbato in the ground. With that, Naruto wrapped an arm around Satsuki's waist and shot up into the sky. While he might not be able to access Six Paths Sage mode, he still had access to several of its abilities, such as flight. When the two were high enough in the air, they both looked at Gato's compound. Without a word, Naruto made a half-ram seal, detonating the explosive tag he put on Zabuza. The effect was instant, as the entire compound and all the bodies were consumed in a massive fiery explosion, consuming everything it came in contact with. "That should get their attention," said Naruto, speaking of the Konoha ninja. "Let's get going. We have a lot to do, locating the other Jinchuriki, finding the person who summoned the Jito Meizo, and whoever has the Rinnegan to keep summoning it," Satsuki listed. "One problem at a time. How about finding a way to seal the tailed beasts into something until we can locate the statue?" said Naruto, wanting to focus on one thing at a time. "Very well. I believe it'd also be prudent to capture the Jinchuriki that aren't well liked in their villages. If they aren't liked, it'll be easier to take them, and not worry about repercussions," Satsuki added. "Then your best bet would be the Jinchuriki in Suna, Iwa, and Taki. Those villages either only use their Jinchuriki as weapons or don't care about them. It'd be best to avoid the Jinchuriki in Kumo, as they're not only liked, but the Hachibi's Jinchuriki is the Reikage's brother, and can access a full-tailed beast transformation," Kasumi said from within the seal. While she was free, she could still freely enter and exit Naruto's mind, having learned the living conditions from eavesdropping on conversations between Kushina and Minato. Even though she has Kaguya inside Naruto for company, even with her pride, she knows that Naruto can become stronger than her and Kaguya combined eventually. Sometimes it was useful because her previous host was the wife of a Kage. You never know what you learn. Grunting in annoyance, Naruto frowned at the last part. He would have loved to go against a fully realized Jinchuriki. However, he knew his limits and wasn't about to go against an opponent that could crush him. It'd be best to go after the Suna and Taki Jinchurikis, since those villages only have one each, while Iwa has two, said Satsuki after a moment. "Alright. But first, what about something to keep the tailed beasts sealed in when we extract them?" Naruto reminded me. "Well, they'd be able to seal keyed into an object, then Anabi needed something stronger to hold it, or that the Jinchuriki willingly join us." "I may have a solution," Kasumi spoke up. "What is it?" Naruto thought. "The amber purifying pot. It's one of the treasured tools the sage left behind. It's able to record the voice of anyone that responds to the wielder. If you're able to get the Jinchuriki or my siblings to respond to you, you can seal them in the pot until you get the Jito Meizo," Kasumi explained. "Great, where is it?" asked Naruto. Replied Kasumi while looking off to the side, and began whistling innocently. Naruto's face went blank while his eye twitched. "Of course it is," Naruto thought. Naruto relayed what Kasumi told him to Satsuki, who cursed silently that one of the possibly best ways to capture the tailed beasts was in the one village they wanted to avoid until they were stronger. "How about for now we focus on increasing our own strength, and if we come across the Jinchuriki, then we'll capture them and figure out things from there," Naruto suggested. "That'd probably be best for now," agreed Satsuki. "Well, they're both strong. Compared to people who are Kage level or higher, they're still weak." Naruto could only hold his Six Paths Sage mode for a few moments before he had to release it. He still needed to practice more mastering wood style before it was strong enough to restrain a tailed beast, not to mention he's still working on a few jutsu he wants to improve on, namely adding his other elements to his Rasen Shuriken and chakra chains, and a more powerful version of Spiraling Ring. Satsuki meanwhile needed more practice with her Manjikyu, as while she didn't need to worry about going blind, they still put a strain on her eyes. She could only really use Amaterasu effortlessly, being able to summon, extinguish, and manipulate the black flames. But Susanoo was still difficult to summon fully. So far she's only to summon the basic upper skeleton. If she wanted any hope of facing larger opponents, she'd need to work on creating a full-body Susanoo, but to also make it move and react faster, as a full-body Susanoo is powerful, but lacks the speed, and once she completes it she can use it without the Manjikyu. She's also working on different things for her Chidori, even working on a way to use natural lightning. They both realized they had a lot of work to do. Time skipped 4 days. Konoha. Minato looked up when the door to his office opened, showing Kushina, Menma, and Arashi. The Hokage noticed that Kushina looked to have been crying recently. "Kushina, you're back already. Why are you with Menma and Arashi? Shouldn't they be with their own team? And where are your students?" Minato asked with a frown, Kushina looking ready to cry again while Menma and Arashi scoffed. "The idiot got himself blown up trying to fight Zabuza," sneered Menma. "And he had to drag Satsuki along with him," Arashi said with a scowl that the loser got Satsuki killed. "What?" said a quiet voice, getting the four's attention. Looking, they saw Narumi standing in the doorway. "Naruto Nai and Satsuki Ni are dead," Narumi said, looking at Akase and pleadingly that it wasn't true. "Unfortunately her other brothers take hope from her." "That's right, brat, the loser finally did us all the favor and got himself killed," Arashi said cruelly. "Yeah, now we don't have to put up with that waste of space anymore," added Menma, neither of the two caring if they hurt their sister with their words, as both boys didn't like their sister for taking away attention that should rightfully be theirs. Narumi felt tears gather in her eyes at every word her mean brothers said. Naruto and Sasuke were dead, gone, she'd never be able to see them again. Menma and Arashi continuing to mock Naruto didn't help, as Narumi covered her ears trying to block them out, but it was no use, as she couldn't block out what she just heard. Menma and Arashi's taunting of Naruto was suddenly cut off when Narumi let loose a loud piercing scream, while dozens of golden chains shot out of her back. The chains instantly shot out towards a shocked Menma and Arashi, and impaled them into their arms, legs, sides, and every other non-lethal area of their bodies, while two chains stabbed both boys right between their legs, cutting away what made them both male. Both boys screamed in agony at being impaled by the chains, and at the loss of their manhoods, though their screams were cut off when more chains wrapped around their throats strangling them. Meanwhile Minato and Kushina snapped out of their shock seeing their daughter activate her adamantine sealing chains, and prepared to stop, but soon found themselves restrained by the chains, as well, though thankfully not impaling them like with Menma and Arashi. They couldn't escape, as their chakra was quickly suppressed, and they knew it was hopeless to try breaking the chains that are strong enough to hold the Kyuubi. Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. Narumi screamed glaring at them all through tear-filled eyes. This is your fault, Narumi said to her parents. If you had just trained Nai-san then he wouldn't be gone. But you didn't, you only cared about them, said Narumi venomously towards Menma and Arashi, who both started turning blue from lack of air. All because of some stupid prophecy by some stupid old toad that smokes all the time. Narumi remembered Naruto telling her the reason why their parents focused so much on Menma and Arashi. And now he's gone. My brothers are gone, and it's all your fault, screamed Narumi, her chains lashing out wildly. Narumi sweetie, just calm down. Minato started only to be cut off. No? You aren't my parents anymore, and they were never my brothers. I only have one brother and a sister, and they're gone because of you. I hate you, Narumi shouted, running out of the office, her chains releasing the Namikaze family. Menma and Arashi hit the ground unconscious from lack of air and blood loss from their injuries. Minato quickly went to check on his sons and get them to the hospital. Kushina meanwhile curled up into herself crying, as not only she lost a son she's neglected, but also her only daughter. And it was all her fault. With Narumi. As she left the office, she went into the forest of death to calm herself down, as she was crying to herself. How dare they, her former brothers, not care about Naruto and Sasuke being dead? She asked herself after showing her family what she can actually do. Hey, what is a girl like you doing in this forest at night? Anko asked Narumi. Just trying to cool off, Narumi answered her. Why? Anko asked her. As Narumi explained to Anko about Naruto and Sasuke's deaths, and that she disowned her family. Even the physical abuse they did to him just for having Kyuubi's soul inside him. Her brothers say that they were grateful that Naruto died, but angry that Sasuke died. This made Anko very angry that she unknowingly changed into her level 2 curse seal mode, which scared Narumi a bit until she saw her scaly hands, and suppressed it until she became normal again. Calm yourself, Anko. Don't give in, she said to herself, as she saw Narumi crying that her family would do that, and she knows the Uzumaki creed of family above all, as she falls to the ground in sadness. There, Narumi. Anko tried to comfort Narumi despite not having experience with children due to being Orochimaru's former apprentice. She picks up Narumi, who fell asleep, and carries her to her home to rest. Next day morning, Narumi woke up on an unfamiliar bed and smelled breakfast that Anko was cooking. Finally, you woke up since you were crying in your sleep, Anko said, as she gave Narumi a plate for breakfast, as she ate it. Sorry for the trouble, and thanks for letting me sleep here, Narumi told her. It's no problem at all, brat, Anko told her, as Narumi kept eating. When you finish eating I'll walk you to the academy, okay? Anko said while Narumi nodded. Luckily, she had her personal belongings in a storage seal just in case. The academy. Anko drops off Narumi and waved goodbye to her. As she composes herself, as she enters the classroom, and sits next to Alexis, the granddaughter of Hiruzen Tsurutobi, the former third Hokage, as her grandfather has been training her to become the Tsurutobi clan head. As her former goal was to become Hokage, but Hiruzen gave her a very brutal speech of what it means to actually be Hokage, and even learned that she has scorched style. Hey, Alexis greets her friend along with Akiza and tea. Oh hey Alexis, Narumi told her. As she looked towards the door, she saw Menma, Arashi, and Sasuke with Kakashi going to the Hokage's office for another mission. She scoffed until Kushina saw Narumi. Narumi, where were you? We were looking all over for you, Kushina said to her worryingly. I was at a friend's house, she blankly stated, annoyed by her mere presence. Come on Narumi, we're having sushi, your favorite food, Kushina said to her daughter. No? She stared blankly again at Kushina. What? Kushina asked. What part of disowning you guys you didn't understand, because the only ones who I had, as a family, are dead, and I want nothing to do with you ever again, you shitty mother. Narumi shouted at Kushina. His hair was standing like 9 tails menacingly. How dare you say I am a shitty mother? Kushina yelled until Narumi used her sealing chains on her to suppress her chakra. Of course you are. What kind of mother would hit her child for something he never did while his other brother gets away scot-free? What kind of mother would neglect their other child for a fucking prophecy that was told by a pervert whose fan reads porn in front of children? You're a disgrace to the Uzumaki clan. Don't you remember the creed, Kushina? What was it again? Oh, right. Family above all else. Now Naruto and Satsuki are dead because you never trained them. She told Kushina in anger, as she threw Kushina out of the classroom while Iruka and her classmates were looking at her in fear except 3 particular kids, while Kushina ran away crying. I think I'm in love, Hanabi said while looking and blushing towards Narumi while Akiza, who was surprised that Hanabi was bisexual, and T stared at her, as Alexis was making the give me gesture, because he made a bet with T, who lost the bet, while Hanabi was fingering herself and using her Byakugan to see under Narumi's clothing with a perverted look. Now I understand why Onisan had a crush on Naruto, Hanabi said to herself, as Hanabi had gained a crush on Narumi, but she kept it to herself, and not even Hinata knew, because they would ostracize her from the clan, just for having a crush on a girl. As well with the excuse of maintaining the Haika bloodline pure, and the elders telling that girls love boys, and vice versa. Especially when she remembered the incident when Arashi and Menma insulted Naruto's name again because the new bridge in Wave Country was dubbed the Great Naruto and Satsuki Bridge, in honor of the 2 heroes who stopped Geto and his goons as they sacrificed their lives. She finally understood that Hinata was sabotaging her own potential for her, so she doesn't get the caged bird seal, as she becomes more resentful towards her own clan, not knowing that there were more secrets that not even her and Hinata know about. Hinata had watched Naruto when they were younger, whenever she could. She wished that she could have helped him. She wished she could have watched him without having to worry about the consequences, but she is the heir of the Haika, and he was the pariah. Her love for Naruto started from a small crush on the day when he intervened in a bullying attempt on that snowy day, and it kept on growing, as she saw him struggle and live his life in this harsh world. She felt connected to him, as they were both so similar. She is hated by her own family. It became worse after her mom died, and he was alone even among his own family until he met Satsuki and his sister Narumi. She even began to gain a crush on Satsuki, as she was a strong female who never took shit from anybody, unlike her. A family that provided warmth and happiness to others brought her despair. For her sister, she sacrificed her future and sabotaged her potential. The curse of being a Haika meant that her sister had to become his slave, but her gentle heart could never allow it. She had promised her mother that she would protect Hanabi, and for that, she sacrificed it all. She held on, and kept that secret even when everything beat her down. Her own father cursed her, as worthless and incompetent. Her sister that she loved more than life saw her as an incompetent trash just like the rest of the clan. The sister that would hold her hands and follow her around with her bright eyes, with her lovely voice asking questions, had now turned into one of them. Seeing Naruto fight on and suffer, her love and her despair whispered words that had her question everything. Naruto needs you. Let that little bitch understand where she stands. Show her what you can really do. Show her the cruel reality of the world. A mature voice spoke to Hinata. Why do you need to suffer? Why? Why? For what reason? What have they done to deserve such loyalty from us? The mother that only existed for 4 years, are you going to suffer for eternity? Hinata's darkness spoke to her. They don't deserve it. Go on, take the step, and extend your hand towards him. Her darkness said to persuade her light. He will be ours. He has no one. He cannot deny us. Show him the world, show him the way, and he will brighten our world. Her darkness continued. Break through this imaginary cage, and ignore others, your desires take priority. Hinata had been tempted, but she chose Hanabi over Naruto, and stepped back. With her weak presence, if she had interacted with Naruto, both of them would have been in trouble. Just like that day, when Naruto tried to save her, those children that tried to bully her, had their families destroyed for daring to confront the noble Haika clan. In this world, the powerful ruled the world, and the Haika were one of the ruling clans of Konohagakure. It didn't matter if they were kids or adults, as it was basic knowledge to never mess with the clan children, especially the heir of the clan. The clans protected the village, and in return, they had authority beyond the normal citizens and ninja. Hinata could choose to abandon Hanabi and become the heir she was meant to be and extend her hand to Naruto, but she didn't. Something that she regretted telling Naruto and her sister. And with the poor standing in the clan, she would have led to Naruto's increase in suffering. Hinata can't live if Naruto and Satsuki aren't alive, but she will honor them because they never want her to kill herself by becoming more confident and assertive woman who can and will kill anyone who slanders Naruto and Satsuki's names, as she became Anko's first student. As Hinata needed to be broken down before rebuilding her from scratch, as she began to wear more provocative clothes, her RTN design, that showed she has G-cup chest. Everybody that tried to flirt with her, and even Nelly, and the clan are scared of the new her, as her heart belongs to only Naruto and Satsuki, and that she made friends with Sasuke's cousin Flare, who loves Naruto as well, and could feel that he and Satsuki are alive somewhere away from this cesspool of a village. If they only knew. Meanwhile with Naruto, Satsuki, and Kasumi. Meanwhile in Kurigakure, Materumi Uzumaki, who is a full Uzumaki, but had to hide her clan name after she was adopted into the Terumi clan as a child, leading the rebellion against Iguro Karatachi, the 4th Mizukage, and the pseudo Jinchuriki of the core user Sanbi, the 3 shrimp-tailed crab-turtle hybrid. Ever since the Third War, no one has seen the Sanbi. May suddenly sneezed because someone was having the time of his life, and heard Ao saying the typical in my youth. Ao, shut up or die. May told him sweetly, as he screamed like a little girl. Elsewhere with Kaguya. Kaguya, who possessed a shadow clone of Naruto who has Byakugan eyes, was currently watching Naruto, Kasumi, and Satsuki pleasure each other while feeling jealous, and left out. It reminded her about looking at people who knew about real love from countless habituated planets, before the land of that wanted to own her, and Tenji, as the weak-minded man he considered peace more important than the love of a would-have-been family. Kaguya has seen beings from other planets, as their own civilizations crumble on their own, as a few were peaceful, but also made them easier to be killed, and to gain a chakra fruit faster. The more she saw, the more she felt guilty, mainly due to her Rinchurin recording everything in extreme detail. The only option was to start fresh that caused her to betray her own clan, but in actuality they betrayed her because she questioned them of their goals, methods, and having their powers go over their heads. Even if they gain godhood, what will they do next? Kaguya has always questioned herself every time with the same answer. To be at the top of the food chain. Kaguya said, repeating a Siki set during the first times of their harvesting with their 10 tails, that she named Totara before marking a person in the forehead, while the victim smiled in peace, as Kaguya flew into Totara's mouth, and ate her. As it burrows into the ground. Contrary to popular belief, Kaguya may have been the first Otsutsuki to eat a chakra fruit that actually had time to develop fully, and bond with the 10 tails, making her more powerful than her disowned sons Hagoromo and Humar. However, she was a woman that needed love, as most of her direct Otsutsuki family members have willingly left, because the clan deemed them too powerful, except for her father Otsutsukidori no Maiko, who she hasn't seen for more than 2 millenniums. As he was the former clan head before Siki's father beat him, and made him exiled her father, never to be seen again. Mother, are you jealous of those 2 girls? Questioned a black plant wearing an Akatsuki robe who interrupted her thoughts. Don't be foolish, Zetsu, and don't call me mother. Kaguya said, her usual voice cracking only slightly. However, this mystery figure caught it, as the figure's mother never actually showed this much emotion before. His dick is 3x bigger than Tenji's. She thought with a slight nosebleed, as she compassed herself. Anything else, mother? The figure said to Kaguya, as she activated her Byakugan at the figure. Setsu, if you really want to do something for us, then do what Naruto and Satsuki always do. Prove it to us with your actions. That is, if Satsuki eventually forgives you for indirectly causing her clan's demise. I know you're not even my son, just my corruption and paranoia in physical form. Kaguya said seriously, as she flew towards Naruto's location. Wait a minute. You're not her son. Shut up. I don't know why Madara made me paired with you, you disgrace of a former father. Do you? Said Black Zetsu to the white half, being the former lover of Kaguya Satsuki, as he goes into the ground to going back to a certain orange masking wearing a chuha, as he exits the scene while the white half was looking in shame, as it was the only white Zetsu to have a soul that was Tenji's. As a reminder of reminding him the consequences of his actions of regarding peace above everything. Meanwhile, as Black Zetsu was traveling through tree roots with his white half, he was thinking about his life choices. Sure, he may have been the mastermind of countless wars in the shadows, but he was doing it to free his creator. He mainly focused on Indra's descendants, as one of them has been the same gender until Satsuki. He did not regret that ninja was absurd, as true peace can never be achieved because it can't. Even Black Zetsu knew that life is like business. You have to give something to have something. Whenever he tried to remember about the stone tablet, since he is part of Kaguya, meaning that he is technically a pure-blooded Otsutsuki to clearly read the text that only a user who has the Rin Sharingan line can, and since Hagoromo never turned off his Rinnegan, which made it impossible for anyone of his descendants who doesn't have the Rinnegan to read and decipher it fully. He always had a hazy feeling, as if someone suppressed that memory of the event, since he wrote about needing to kill a close one to gain the Manjikyu, despite that Indra gained it naturally. Maybe I could have also told Indra and Asura about Kaguya, and would have helped me. The past is in the past. Maybe after helping Naruto and Sasuke free Kaguya physically I can pass on. But first, I need to redeem myself in front of Naruto and Sasuke for making them suffer, even if it was indirectly. Black Zetsu said to himself while clenching his chest, not noticing gaining a heartbeat, somehow not noticing that his white half made a small smile. As he was feeling calmer all of a sudden, as he made a few detours to Konohagakure and Mountain's graveyard to retrieve something that can help them on the long run with their awoken powers aside from Kaguya. Naruto's mindscape. After making her temporary home inside Naruto's mind, he gave her control to change the scenery to her old home of the land of the ancestors. While Kaguya appeared in a place that resembled her old bedroom, as she was sleeping, being with Naruto makes her feel safe while Naruto was looking around, and amazed on how he helped Kaguya remodel the place from her memories. As Naruto meditated earpond until he heard a voice calling him. "Listen to my voice, my king." The voice said to Naruto, as he turned around a dark figure with Manjaku Sharingan eyes that resembled his clan's symbol of the Uzumaki, but longer. "Who are you?" Naruto asked, confused and wary of who it was and what it was doing in his mindscape, since the only one present is Kaguya, and sometimes Sasuke and Kasumi to train in secret, something that he respects. "Really Naruto, you may not know me, but I have always watched you since birth, as well," said the figure, circling Naruto, with the boy only being more confused at what the figure meant. "Hagoromo?" Naruto asked while the figure face palmed. "Do not compare me with that pathetic know-it-well, that would listen to a pathetic disgrace of a toad, rather than to his own family, and think that he knows all when he knows nothing, even when the biggest threat was looking at him right in the eyes." The figure ranted because it also hated Hagoromo, as well when it heard about Kaguya's grandsons. "What are you talking about?" said Naruto, with the figure sighing in annoyance, before grabbing Naruto by the back of his head, and forcing him to look at the water of the pond behind them, at his reflection, with the figure's head right next to Naruto's. "Think about it. Hated for something out of your control since birth, despite sealing Kasumi with the excuse of keeping balance between villages, but did we have a choice? No, we didn't. Look at us. We were hated, despised, ostracized, and neglected by our own family, because a prophecy is more important than our needs. Those feelings don't go away, so where does it all go?" said the figure, with Naruto looking at their reflections, as realization slowly dawned on him. "You?" Naruto said, while turning his head to the figure, as it let him go. "Yes. Every dark thought and negative emotions you have suppressed before. I'm all of them given form when Kasumi tried to use me to free herself until Kaguya came into our lives. Or at least, a developing form. For simplicity's sake, call me Naruto. All the negative emotions you were feeling for years, they were too powerful and intense to suppress, but you actually embraced them the moment you had enough, leading to me getting an early wake-up call all those years ago, but I decided to explore until you awoke your emotions sensing ability. Now being able to contact you and speak with you," Naruto said, which was also the reason for establishing a subconscious connection between them. "Well, why are you here now, Naruto? And why did you bring me here since I accepted my whole being already?" Naruto asked, looking at his dark half warily since Naruto wears his emotions on his sleeves, as it circled around and stood in front of him. "Simple Naruto, despite our similarities, and how much I despise people having us as the scapegoat instead of taking the responsibility and fixing it themselves, and for living in that ungrateful cesspool of hidden village that has caused our clan's demise. However, we are still the same being, and now you've seen the truth, that people, they never cared about you unless they gained something in return. To others, you're either an annoyance, a lost cause, or just something they can use to remember those they care about. They don't really see you for you, and they never cared," Naruto said, as they put their hands on his shoulders. "But I care, I really care. I've been the one who was always there, even if you didn't know of me managing your emotions, as well. I stayed by your side through the pain, loneliness, and hatred during childhood. And I'll always be with you, and show everyone what truly happens when you mess with an Uzumaki. Besides, you also have Satsuki, Kasumi, and Kaguya. You even had more friends before, but somehow they don't remember," said Naruto, with Naruto looking at his dark half for a few moments, before pulling it into a hug, as it shed tears, stabilizing the connection between them. While Naruto was thinking about the last thing that Naruto said about having more friends before Satsuki. This also affected Naruto's form, as it began stabilizing, and fully forming, the darkness fading to reveal a human body. Though one also very different from Naruto's own. When Naruto pulled back, he was surprised when he saw a girl his age, with pale skin, long white hair that went down to her waist, as well as black and red eyes. The latter feature showing this was indeed Naruto. "Why are you a girl?" Naruto asked, having expected his dark half to look identical to him, and while they did have similar features, enough to be considered fraternal twins, he didn't think she'd be a girl, while Naruto shrugged at his question. "It was probably a 50-50 chance on how I developed. Since we formed a connection, before I was fully formed, I became female instead. Showing that I'm truly your dark half, the opposite of you in every way. It's likely, if we hadn't formed a connection, I would have developed, as a male, being a complete copy of you, minus the eyes, as some form of default form," Naruto explained, before grabbing a strand of her white hair. "Though even I'm confused at where the white hair came from," said Naruto, having expected to be black. "That'd be due to the fact that Naruto gained darker hair due to me. It is stand to reason that if you're his opposite, you take my hair color," said Kaguya, reminding the two of her presence that she woke up, with Naruto and Naruto being surprised and confused at this information. Naruto looked back at Naruto, with his eyes widening in shock and his face burning red, as he realized something else about her. She was completely naked, while sporting a surprisingly curvy body and E-cup breasts, showing she was an early bloomer. Not to the same extent as a certain Hika that Naruto knew, not that he was aware of this fact. Naruto soon noticed this as well, and how Naruto was unconsciously looking her up and down, making the white-haired girl smirk seductively and saunter up to him. Naruto, please. Even if that's true, I can't right now since we just properly met, and I don't want bad blood between us, since I need to sort things out if I have been neglecting you," said Naruto, since even if they weren't completely the same person, his heart wasn't in it right now. Naruto sighed in annoyance, but understood his reluctance to keep going, as she respects his choice. "Alright, fine. Not now," Naruto said, as they stood up, before materializing a black mini kimono with red highlights and a red obi, while Naruto pulled his pants back on. However, Naruto did give Naruto a peck on the cheek and smiled at him. "But I meant what I said, I'll always be there for you and will never leave you. And if it comes down to it, we'll leave the elemental nations and find somewhere that will accept us," Naruto said, glad at being able to form a connection with Naruto this early, and her new maternal instincts of wanting to take care of him, as the light needs the darkness to shine bright. This made Naruto smile, as despite the circumstances, he was still glad at having another person that he could trust unconditionally just like Satsuki, Kasumi, and Kaguya. "Thank you Naruto," Naruto said, while hugging Naruto again, surprising the girl, as she blushed at his gesture, before hastily pushing him back, and looking away with her arms crossed. "S8 shut up. I only mean that we shouldn't deal with the dumbasses of the elemental nations when we can just leave. Don't overthink it," Naruto shouted, refusing to let Naruto think she was going soft, while Naruto chuckled, seeing through her act, with even Kaguya laughing, finding some entertainment in this new development, and actually laughing for the first time in more than a millennia. "Maybe leaving the nations after gaining my original body doesn't sound bad, since she will spare the ones that don't have too much chakra, and leave the planet for another place to stay," Kaguya said to herself. While Naruto looked at a puddle to his reflection of having the Manjikyu Sharingan just like Naruto, as he changed his eyes back to normal, and realized that his pupils are slits now. "They look better than before," Naruto said, as the slits made him look like Kasumi in her fox form. "Well, I'm going back to sleep. Good night you two," Naruto said, as he left his mind, as they waved goodbye to him. "Are you draining our chakra into pure nature chakra?" Naruto asked Kaguya, who nodded. "But since I want them to be powerful enough to defend themselves, as well," Naruto said. "Even Kasumi will start to learn to use her siblings' abilities, as well as Naruto," Kaguya answered. "Don't worry Kaguya. Once we find them, and restore your body we take the chakra from the people, and start fresh elsewhere without worrying yourself if you want to Kaguya," Naruto told her. "I would love that, but we need to destroy my clan first," Kaguya told her. "Don't be scared of Kaguya. Once we are strong nothing can stop us," Naruto assured her, as Kaguya smiled. Real world. Naruto, Satsuki, and Kasumi were sleeping peacefully until silver energy covered them, while they were smiling of the feeling that was filling their chakra network, as they felt stronger and calmer, more so Kasumi ever since she is freed. But willingly stays with them since they are the first real family she has since her siblings, but she needs to apologize for her arrogance towards them, especially Kid. Meanwhile in Konoha, a woman with silver hair and a girl with brown hair were sleeping and murmuring about Naruto and Satsuki. Hinata, who is now living with Sasuke's cousin Flare after leaving her clan compound, and was currently dreaming about Naruto and Satsuki, and she misses them. Ino was still sad that she never told Naruto that she loves him when she realized that when Sasuke talked bad about him and Satsuki, and says that she is glad that they are both dead, that is when she breaks off her fake rivalry, because Ino was infatuated towards Arashi and Menma. But that changed when she used her mind jutsu on Menma, and saw that chakra of the 9 tails behind a cage, but something was weird that it didn't have a consistent physical appearance, just chakra shaped like the Kyuubi, that it sensed the fear out of Ino, as she quickly left Menma's mind. Then Ino beat Sasuke within an inch of her life for insulting Naruto, and Sasuke's names that her dad tried to suppress parts of her memories, but couldn't due to her heritage from her mother's side, had started to manifest. Meanwhile in a hideout, the woman sensed a calming chakra. "Naruto-kun?" The woman with yellow eyes asked, and ordered her most valuable henchman to find Naruto, while planning to get help from Suna to invade Konoha. "Soon my Naruto-kun, you will be all mine, and I will bear your children as well," the woman said to herself while drooling. Unknown place. The Uzumaki god and the Uchiha goddess are alive, the girl said, along with a black-haired girl and a white-haired girl with 2 red dots above her eyes with hopeful voices. Meanwhile in Suna, a girl carrying a big gourd was looking at the sky alone, while inside her a tanuki made of sand was wary that she felt a familiar presence that she fears, but at the same time cries. "It can't be them. That's impossible," the tailed beast said. "Yage, are you okay?" Another voice said, as the girl heard the voice, and came inside to rest. Coming. Kaguya said, as she went inside. Meanwhile in Kusa, the girl with red hair and glasses was kneeling, and crying to whoever God was listening to help her, and her mom out of their misery. Whoever is listening to my prayers, please help us. The girl said with tears while holding her sleeping mother. Meanwhile, Zetsu heard the girl's plea. Don't worry, Naruto will help you, Zetsu said, as he left. Wave country. As Naruto wakes up inside a cozy tent until they have a more suitable place to stay. It looks big on the inside due to Naruto adding seals to expand the inside. As Naruto left a shadow clone in his place to begin hunting food for breakfast, and another shadow clone to start preparing coffee for the girls, as he left to find edible food, not knowing that a certain entity possessed that shadow clone, that the eyes changed into red with black glare. It was preparing coffee. Finally I'm outside. Though I need my own body to actually be complete, Naruto said to herself while preparing coffee, as Kasumi was the first to wake up. Morning Naruto. Kasumi said, thinking it was him, until Kasumi sensed the clone's chakra, which was darker than hers, like it was Madara and Indra's chakra, but worse. Morning Kasumi-chan. Naruto said, slowly turning her head towards Kasumi, as Naruto's eyes changed into the Manjikyu Sharingan, which made Kasumi on the defensive, as they are the same design as Indra's Manjikyu Sharingan before she ate Indra centuries ago. Who the hell are you? Kasumi stated to Naruto until she kissed Kasumi on the lips passionately. At first, she was against it, but felt compelled since she was also Naruto as well. Finally, Naruto deactivated her Manjikyu. Really Katsumi, you don't remember trying to use my king's negative feelings in order to free yourself from the seal before Kaguya freed you? Naruto said to Katsumi, who gasped. You're his dark half. Kasumi said with regret that she didn't tell Naruto. Ding, 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 we have a winner. Naruto said to her. That doesn't make sense. How come you're still your own being despite that Naruto accepted his darkness already? Kasumi told her. Remember that Naruto is more powerful than he appears to be, Kasumi-chan, and that's with his own chakra and not Asura since it disappeared. We may have left the village that we all despite. However, the minute they suspect us of being alive they will hunt us down, and seal you into someone more subservient or someone that will abuse your power, Kasumi. Don't tell Sasuke that he has the Manjikyu until he tells her, as they will be equal to her in more ways than one, just like Kaguya said. Naruto said, as she kissed Kasumi again, as she poofed out. Later. Let's see, the first place we have to go is Taki. Naruto said to Sasuke and Kasumi, while Kaguya stayed inside Naruto's mind. Contrary to the popular belief about Kasumi is that even sealed she still can sense emotions from outside the seal, albeit limited. Especially from Naruto's grandmother Mito Uzumaki, also known as Hashirama Senju, the last transmigrant of Asuril Sasuke's wife, who nearly succeeded into making peace with Indral Sasuke's transmigrant. And Sasuke great-grandpa from Mikoto's side Madara Uchiha, until Tobirama Senju ruined it. While Kasumi was sealed inside Mito, she could always hear from the outside when inside the seal, as she was roaming while looking through her memories since birth to present. And it had its advantages, especially from when Mito was helping Tobirama create his most famous, like the Flying Thunder God, Shadow Clones, Bringer of Darkness, and the most deadly and powerful of all, Impure World Resurrection. A technique that can revive people who did not die of natural causes at first, and if you have some DNA of the person you want, but need a body, as a sacrifice, and the best part is that they are immune to Genjutsu, except for the subtle mind control ones. Have unlimited chakra due to them instantly replenishing it, no need to eat nor drink, and can be controllable, even if they know the release hand seals. Tobirama and Mito may have created the jutsu, but you Naruto-kun can perfect it to bring anyone at full power in their prime, and control them whenever you want. Katsumi said to Naruto, who actually smiled at Katsumi, for showing that she has full trust in him. Moreover, Naruto knows whom to revive. However, that's for later. On the road to Taki. As Naruto, Sasuke, and Kasumi traveled to take in search of Fubuki's Jinchuriki. I can't believe that Hashirama would do something so stupid, and give a tailed beast to the village that wanted him killed. Naruto said in anger. It's like a tradition that every Hokage is worse than the last. The first hunted every tailed beast after Suna captured Keed, then sold them to the other main villages, without asking them first if they wanted to agree. However, it was forced in the name of promoting peace. He was so gullible to give powerful beings, and not think that they would use them against each other. Tobirama held his grudge towards the Uchiha clan, and made sure that they didn't have a say in anything. Hiruzen for letting Danzo live, and other things. Your dad for using an Uzumaki exclusive seal, ruining my childhood, neglected me, and accepted the slaughter of the Uchiha clan when there was another way. Naruto continued to rant. For years I hated Madara Uchiha for using his eternal Manjikyu Sharingan to control me, but then I realized that it was Tobirama who pushed him to read the stone tablet in the first place. When Indra and Asura's transmigrants nearly made amends until Tobirama had to ruin it because he never left the past. Kasumi said, as her hatred is now directed to Tobirama more than ever. Sasuke tripped into something metallic. What the hell? Sasuke asks, as she stumbles into a secret hideout. Sasuke, are you alright? You're not hurt, right? Naruto asked in concern, as he was checking if she wasn't hurt. Well, she was blushing. He really does truly love me. Sasuke thought to herself while blushing at his concern for her. What is this place? Kasumi asked while looking at the secret lab, as she saw a pot with a person inside. A woman with long blue hair with loops on the tips, and pink streaks, and 2 beauty marks under her blue eyes. Wearing a white long-sleeved turtleneck shirt with bishop sleeves, and dark shorts with blue stars, and a moon, and a planet with a ring rounded patterns, blue earrings, and black high-heeled shinobi sandals with 2 blue crescent moons, and blue heels. In addition, wearing 2 blue bracelets on both of her wrists, and matching rings on her ring finger, and her pinky finger, and has pink nail polish on her fingernails, and toenails. As they looked around, they saw some files about Project Car. Project Car, what is that? Katsumi asked. Let me ask Kaguya if she knows about this. Naruto said, as he started to meditate to talk to Kaguya. Mindscape. Yes, Naruto-kun. Kaguya asked him while she was sitting on her throne. Hey Kaguya, do you know anything about Project Car? Naruto asked her until she was silent and began to hyperventilate. No. It can't be him. I thought I killed him. She shouted. Calm down, Kaguya. I thought you said that you killed Isiki. He asked her worriedly. Listen carefully to what Naruto is about to say. Kaguya composed herself. Aware of Ezekiel Sasuke, who was my former partner, as I don't know how he survived since I used my all-killing ash bones to take out his immortality from him, but what concerns me is that he is still alive somehow, and somewhere. Kaguya explained her origins, and that Sasuke never betrayed each other. I only betrayed my clan for how childish they are now. Do you know how is it to go from planet to kill people, and nature just for a chakra fruit? Even when I had to mark different beings before being eaten by the 10 tails, as a sacrifice for the clan. That is a tradition that I never wanted to do in Naruto, and I know it is different from your shadow clones and transformation, but the feeling of taking someone's life and identity leaves you with a bad taste every time. That's the reason why I never told those 2 disgraceful sons. But I had to stop those humans because of the musing chakra, and Sasuke never shared powers to other beings blindly, and made white Zetsus to fight back with an army. Naruto. Kaguya ranted, as she calmed down. Naruto just looked at her in surprise that she isn't the only one, and that there are others more powerful than her. He suddenly hugged Kaguya to calm her down, as whenever he hugged her, it soothes her. Don't worry Kaguya, if your clan comes then we make sure to pummel them to Kingdom Come if they don't listen to reason. Remember that you aren't alone now Kaguya-chan. Naruto told her, as she was shocked to him, saying that to her even with blood in her hands, and learning his origins, he demonstrated to her what a true Sasuke should actually be. Loyal to their true family. Thank you Naruto-kun. Kaguya said, as she kissed him, as their tongues wrestled each other for dominance, as Naruto was winning due to having practice. She kicks Naruto out of the mindscape. When I have my physical body I will make Naruto defile me, violate me mercilessly, and shoot your seed all over me like a whore. Kaguya said while masturbating, and sucking a toy carrot like it was Naruto's penis. Secret lab. Naruto woke up, as Sasuke and Kasumi were worried about him. You took your time to talk to Kaguya, did you? Sasuke asked. We have to be careful with that woman since I sense that she is dangerous. Naruto told them, as the capsule's opening revealing the woman known as Ada, despite being a sadistic person that can kill anyone he wants, but even he has his limits. And this woman is way out of his league, even if he gained access to 6 paths mode longer than before, so for now he will persuade her. As Ada was going to attack, Naruto stopped. What are you doing here? Ada said to Naruto while trying to use her charms on them, and it doesn't work at all, meaning that they are Sasuke like Isiki, but they look too human. We mean no harm to you since we stumbled here by accident while we were heading to a nearby village. He explained to Ada. Then Naruto created truth-seeking orbs to show that if she messes with them, then she will turn into ashes, as Ada understood, and nodded, as he reprogrammed her with help of Kasumi, so that Ada would be loyal to Naruto and his cause. Well, it's better to be with Naruto than with Isiki. I hope that my brother demon is alright. Ada said in concern, referring to her younger brother, that Amato separated from her. Just help me save my brother demon. Ada said well Naruto can kill her now, but he reprogrammed to be loyal to him. And she looks like she can beat a high-rank Sasuke in Taijutsu like Kaguya told him, since most Level 2 Sasuke don't train at all, since they take the life of others through the 10 tails. Unlike a certain warhawk, Naruto knows potential when he sees it, and would not suppress their emotions since without emotions, there is no free will, and cautiousness. Okay, I will spare you, but know this. If you betray us you will not live longer. Naruto said, as he coated his right arm with lightning chakra, and it made bird chirping sounds meaning that it was the Chidori Rikiri. An assassination technique that Satsuki taught him when he taught her his god split cut. As they all left the lab, heading towards Taki, as Satsuki used Jinjutsu on a Taki nin to guide them to the village. Meanwhile in Konohagakure. After Narumi dealt with Kushina, she explained to Anko that she left her former family, and Anko decided that she will live with her because she sees potential in Narumi that reminded her of herself before gaining the curse mark. She now has an admirer by the name of Alexis, who was hiding inside a square box, as if it was a rock, which failed. "You can come out, Alexis," she blankly stated. "That is not Narumi," she said, as she, Akiza, and T appeared. "If you are here, who is inside the box?" Narumi said, as the person inside the box escaped swiftly. "The ninja has to be agile, vigilant, and never show your full skills," she told them, just like her brother Naruto told her. Narumi sensed the three kids' chakra and saw their elemental affinities, but what surprised her the most is that Alexis has wind and fire, Akiza has water and earth, and T has water and wind. However, what amazed her the most is that their affinities are balanced with each other, meaning that they combined it to make scorch, wood, and ice style respectively. While Hanabi, who escaped, was blushing and scared that they would not be her friends anymore due to liking Narumi. "Let her go to the compound to train harder to impress Narumi then," Hanabi said in sadness, that if her father finds out about her crush or worse, the elders will disown her. Meanwhile with Naruto. Seeing a village near a huge tree with a waterfall around it was magnificent, but it will be short-lived, as they need to find the Jinchuriki of Fubuki, the happy-go-lucky seven-tailed beast. This is Takigakure, also known as the village hidden behind a waterfall, and the only village to have never been invaded. Kasumi said in her human form while everyone looked at the calmed hidden village. As they are walking towards Taki, they hear screaming, and they see a green-haired girl that was being attacked by 5 people who appear to be Chunin. "Naruto is the Jinchuriki of the seven-tailed Fubuki," Kasumi explained. "I guess we're helping then. Let's get this over with." Naruto shunpo down behind one of the men, and cuts his throat open, killing him instantly. He grabs 2 kunai, and cuts down 2 more, but is noticed by one of the Chunin attacking the poor girl. "What the hell did you do to them? You're helping the demon whore, and for what? Now you have to die," the man said, as he readied a kunai. "The only one dying here is you." Naruto narrows his eyes upon hearing him call her whore. The 2 men rush at Naruto, as he blocks one man's kunai while knocking the other out of the other guy's hands. Naruto grabs onto his wrists, snaps it, breaking it, and embeds a kunai in the man's skull. The other man remains stupefied, as he saw his friend get a kunai to his skull. Making use of momentary hesitance, Naruto stabs a kunai in the man's gut, and snaps his neck, killing him. Naruto looks over at the shocked girl, and asks a simple question, not wanting to alert the girl that he knows she is the Jinchuriki of the 7 tails. "What was that about?" Naruto asked, feigning ignorance. "Mountain's graveyard." Black Setsu, who was alone, was looking for something or someone important for his mother's plan for freedom. "Where is it now?" "I know that it's in here somewhere," Black Setsu said, as he went to a particular room and found what he needed. "Perfect, it's still here," Black Setsu said, as he took out a storage scroll to seal what he was looking for, as he left the location. "Kaguya and Naruto will be pleased with what I bring to them," Black Setsu said to himself, as he refers to Naruto as father since his mother Kaguya has taken an interest in him. Thanks for watching my video. Leave a like if you enjoyed my video, and also do consider subscribing to my channel for more awesome content. See you next time. Till then, sayonara.